Coach Smith offered you $2,700 for the year. And I said, yep, that's about it. And she said the famous statement, she said, okay, when do we leave?
The Biltmore gym, the policeman that caught you, and what happened from there?
Well, it was a funny thing because it started on one of those Sunday nights when my mom had some clothes that she was ironing, and I just wanted to get out of there. And so I went to Biltmore Gym, and I found out for sure on the outside you could climb up to the second floor, and you could get in through one of the windows that were not locked. I never would turn the lights on. They had the red exit signs on both ends, and that was enough light for me, and so I'd play. And so I'm in there one time, and a policeman came in, but it was good because he caught me when I was sweeping the floor. And he thought I was just trying to take care of it. I was trying to erase my tracks is what I was doing. And so then he caught me again later. And that's when he took me to the principal's home, put me in the back of the car.
You think you're...
Oh, I thought I was going to jail. I was scared to death. And he takes me to the principal's house, and they scold me a little bit, and then they hand me a key and said, don't go in that way, but don't bring anybody else. If you bring anybody else in, you're responsible for them too. So for over a year, I had a key to the gym, but I never took anybody else in with me. It would just be by myself.
What about your high school coach, Baldwin, made you feel like you could accomplish things that even your family didn't think you could do?
My freshman year at Robertson, I played on the JV team, was for 9th and 10th graders, but I had some of my close friends were in the junior class. And they came home and told me what he said, that he really thought that I had a chance to play on the varsity as a sophomore, that was the first time that anybody had ever been openly very positive about me. It's the first time somebody I'd ever remembered saying really good things.
Because you didn't really have any goals or ambitions at that point.
No, there was no example, because again, nobody in my family had ever gone to school. And so that made me feel really good. And I loved, baseball had always been the most important until my 9th grade year, and then basketball became the most important. And so all of a sudden I realized if he makes me feel that good, I can't be the only person he's done that for. And so that's who I wanted to be. And so the summer after my 9th grade year is when I decided I wanted to be a coach. So Coach Baldwin's the one, and he's the one that taught me into going to college because I never even thought about it. And I still talk to him every week, sometimes 3 or 4 times a week, and he's just been incredible to me my whole life, and it's something I really appreciated.
So you go to college, you're playing on the JV team, and then you start staying after practice to watch Coach Smith and the varsity teams practices. Why? So
my sophomore year, I went in one day and had a little legal pad and went in, set up in the upper section of Carmichael. Coach Guthridge saw me and went and said something to Coach Smith, and Coach Smith sent a manager up, and the manager told the security guard, Coach Smith said he's okay and let Roy come in anytime he wants to come.
And then one day the varsity manager comes to you and says, Coach Smith wants to talk to you.
There were 2 different times. One, that he wanted to know if I would keep a points per possession chart, and the other one to know if I could come on Saturday morning to referee a scrimmage.
And he ends up inviting you to work at the UNC basketball camp. And fast forward to the summer of '78, he asks to talk to you again. Tell about the offer.
Yeah, 5 years I coached high school and 5 years worked the camp, and they wanted a quote part-time assistant. It was full-time job, part-time pay, and so they offered me that, and I went home and told Wanda, and so she said, okay, so I'm going to make $14,000 at Tuscola, and you're going to make about $16,000 with your coaching deal at Owen, so that's $30,000, and Coach Smith offered you $2,700 for the year. And I said, yep, that's about it. And she said the famous statement, she said, okay, when do we leave?
Why did you think that was a good move for you at the time?
Number one, I felt like I was cheating the students at Owen High School, because my whole day in basketball season, I was thinking in my mind about planning practice for that night or the game that night. And I didn't think I was doing as good a job as I should be doing in the classroom for them. And so that made me wonder if I should try to get into college coaching.
How did you survive financially?
Very intelligently. So I was driving copies of Coach Smith and Coach Crum, our football coach at that time, of their TV show. It was a big old case of a film. And I would drop a tape. I would drop one in Greensboro and one in Asheville and turn around and come back, and it was 504 miles every Sunday. But I made $113. And Wanda was teaching. And then the next year, she only taught a couple of months because she was pregnant with Kimberly. And that's when I started selling calendars. And
you became the world's best calendar salesman.
I was the best calendar salesman you'd ever seen. First year, I sold 10,500 calendars, made $2,400, and drove 9,000 miles in 9 weeks. The last year I did it, 8 years later, I sold 50,000 calendars. Instead of making $2,400, I made over 30,000. I did it in 5 weeks and in 5,000 miles.
How do you remember this?
At that time, it was really important. So, but my wife says I have more useless information in my brain than anybody.